Welcome back, folks, to FlashPoint Weekend Update. Now for this week, we got the release of patch 9.19.1, and I did an impromptu episode of FlashPoint on Monday, so there's not that much big news to talk about. However, there are a few smaller tidbits of interesting info and considerations that we should take a look at. So for this patch, we got a better tutorial called Boot Camp. It's replacing the combat mission tutorial thing, combat training, but it's a little bit more sophisticated. It will teach you the basics of circle strafing or bush tactics. So yeah, it's a little bit better, but it does reward first time players 500 gold and 3 days of premium time. So that's very good for a newbie starting out to get some of the credits or buy a garage slot or two. So that's pretty nice. It's a little bit better than the 250 gold and the 0 hours of premium time from combat training previously. But if you already did the combat training prior to this patch, you will not get any rewards. So kind of disappointing, but hey, it's for the newbies, so it's a little bit better. Also remember to check the stun mechanics for the battle notification boxes. So it's mostly for artillery damage after you stun, so it takes account to the damage you stun assist. So a little bit better for artillery missions, but if you're using this, it's basically like the XVM version of the stuff, but hey, it's updated. So also very interesting, they updated the penetration indicator crosshairs. So what this means is, originally it's based on standard armor thickness, so it depends on your penetration versus the armor, but it does not take into account sloped armor or space armor adding to the thickness effective armor value. So now it does take into account the calculations of the sloping as well as the space armor. So originally when I shoot at this WZ-111-5A, I would think to myself, there's a bunch of space armor. There's a space side skirt, the tracks, and the sloping of the side armor. I would think, I'm not going to pin this thing, no way. But with the new crosshair, with the new battle penetration indicator thing, it shows up green. So I have an 80% or higher chance of penetrating. So I took the shot. It penetrated. So this thing is great. It's like the old XVM based enhanced penetration indicator also, but it's legal, so don't be afraid to use it. So I really like this thing. It does give a little bit more security or assurance in your shots, so you know a little bit better about where to shoot if it would penetrate. But the range is for the yellow, so barely penetrate or not, is 20 to 80%. So this is a little bit wonky because sometimes I know I would penetrate like a T29's upper plate with a Tiger 1's long 88, but sometimes it's orange. So it depends on the RNG of the penetration roll. So I would prefer if this percentage range to be 30% to 70%. It's a little bit more evenly spread between the three colors, the red, the orange, and the green, but okay, it's still pretty nice. Assurance, that's always good. Now for the T44-85M marathon mission on the North America server, we got the whole list rather than the one mission by one day. So it's pretty nice, but for this marathon, you cannot buy one single token. So if you missed out on a few days, you have to buy a package of 5. So that sucks, but unlike what everybody says about how hard the marathons are, it's not really that hard. These missions are super easy, like do 2,500 damage over any number of battles. You can finish that in one battle, like tier 8 or tier 10. Super easy. So initial half of the missions are super easy. I wonder if the second half will be just as easy, but this is a tier 6, so it's not a tier 8 like the T25 pilot number 1. So I'm doubting the missions will be that hard, so don't be worried. You can try these. You can get a free premium tier 6. That's pretty nice. Also, this marathon mission is based off of the in-game mission tab, so you'll be rewarded with the vehicle from that page, and therefore I'm thinking that it won't be a gold compensation if you already have the vehicle, so it will be credits instead, whereas from tank rewards, the vehicles are given to you outside like a gift, so it's not from the in-game mission tab or mission panel thing. So those are compensated in gold, whereas vehicles from the mission tab will be compensated by credits. So sorry that you have to grind the marathon mission for a credit, but you'll get 1.5 million credits in compensation as well as a garage slot. So still pretty nice. It's easy, right? Easy money. No problem. So there are rumors about the Waffen trigger of E100 returning. So somebody or a group of people noticed that in the Tankopedia from the main webpage, the Waffen trigger of E100 has a different stat. So basically the penetration, the alpha, was changed from 279 to 249, and the alpha got reduced from 560 to 490, so for the auto-loading 128. Now, it's not a rumor, it's not likely to be returned, so there's no chance, in my honest opinion, because the stats haven't been changed since 9.15, and that was a switch with the Grill 15. So I've been looking at stats for a long time because I want to see all the new vehicles and the stats change. I already saw the initial stats of this vehicle. This is a bare bones data marker thing for the Waffen trigger of E100. So it's like the off clearance Panther, the original awful Panther. So they keep a old data marker that's basically a bare bones version of the vehicle in the game files. It's not likely a return of this tank. It's not. It's always been there. That's what I'm trying to say. So don't get your hopes up. The Waffen trigger of E100 is not likely to come back. It got super broken. It was originally very broken. 6 rounds of 560 alpha got nerfed to 5 rounds, got removed to the Grill 15, and the Grill 15 got nerfed. So holy crap. Please fix the top tier Waffen trigger line. Why would you nerf the dispersion or the reverse speed or the gun depression of the Grill 15? Let's not talk about the Grill 15. All right, it's a whole can of worms. God, I hate what they did to that vehicle and the whole tech line. But Jesus. So yeah, don't get your hopes up. Waffen trigger off U100, the barn, it's not coming back. So for the SuperTest server of 9.20, we got new model for the M48 Patton. So originally it's the M48 Patton initial version, or A1 or A2, but now they removed the M1 cupola and replaced it with the Israeli built Erdan cupola. So it's not as tumorous, and this should be the M48 A5 version of the tank. So looks a lot better, and they buffed the armor as well. But here are the original pictures for the M48 A5. So this is the one with the Erdan turret or cupola right here. Here is the same cupola for the M60 Patton, as well as a bunch of ERAs and gun sleeves and all the good stuff. But that's the design. So basically they thought, we don't need the 30 caliber for the commander. It's kind of superfluous because you already have a gun for the coax, and you also have a bunch of 50 cals stored on the top, so you don't really need that many machine guns anymore. So let's remove the cupola size, right? But here is the armor buff for the M46 and the M48. So very nice for the M46. This vehicle is very good haul down, and yeah, a lot of DPM. I think the best DPM of tier 9 medium goes to the M46 Patton. The penetration is not that great, the accuracy is not that great, but this thing could shoot on the move like none other, and packs a lot of alpha and DPM, so I kept mine. I really like it. But they also buff the new M48 A5 Patton with the better turret. So yeah, they buffed the actual turret part, not the cupola part, but we don't know how thick the earthen cupola is. But now with the turret cheeks, it's 250 to 330. So basically high penetration gun, and I doubt it will pin. Very nice, and it's good against high explosive anti-tank shells. So a bunch of gold spamming Russian medium tanks, mostly assholes. So there are a few more balancing for the premium Chinese medium tanks. So 59 Patton receive a penetration buff. That's pretty nice. Still pretty garbage of a turret. So gigantic cupola. Why don't they use the M48 Patton's turret for this vehicle? That would make a little bit more sense, right? Because it's the Patton onto the Type 59, but logic is hard. Also, they buffed the armor of the T44-3. So as you can see right here, they buff the armor with the HD remodel. So this appears to be a basic non-textured mesh of a model. So we're expecting a HD model for the T44-3. And here you can see the armor values of the new collision models. So originally it's 190 for the turret cheeks, 90 for the upper plate, 70 for the lower plate, and you could penetrate this thing with a German 128. So yeah, feels bad, man. But now it's 260 at the best, 230, 210, and it's rounded. So penetrating the turret front now is pretty hard, and it receives a boost to the upper plate and the lower plate. So basically like the Type 59 now, but still has the non-preferential matchmaking. We'll see tier 10s, but hey, it's a buff, so I'll take it. And the Type 59 receive a dispersion and accuracy buff, as well as faster aim time. So that's pretty nice. But what about the T44-2, man? It's missing in action. It's one of the worst current tier 8 medium tank because power creep. Everybody else is very good. It's lagging behind. So yeah, feels bad, man. I like that vehicle. I want to like that vehicle. Just make it a little bit better, please. So there's a new tank on the SuperTest server. It's the T44 Lightweight. So this is going to be a premium tier 8 Russian light tank. So based on the initial stats, it's a little bit better than the LTTB. Even though it doesn't has that much horsepower per ton ratio. It has about 23, whereas the LTTB has about 35 originally, or 27, but it has more effective armor at the front, and it's like the T44 Lightweight. So what's next? T34 Lightweight? IS-7 Lightweight? T10 Lightweight? KV-1 Lightweight? That would be funny. Well, that's the KV-1S. Doesn't exist. Alright, so KV-1S is not exactly a light tank. Fine. So, we have a whole list of premium Russian tanks, like you saw yesterday with the preview video for the hidden vehicles. There's a whole gigantic list of tier 8 premiums for Russians, like a gigantic line. We need more. You need more, comrade. Oh god. So I'm not that excited. It's another T44. We have a T44 85 and a T44 122 at tier 7, and we have a T44 and a T44 100 at tier 8. There's 5 versions of the tank. Oh god. Okay, so there are a few more changes for the maps. So this one is 2 versions of Erlenberg. So Derpenberg, if you drive into the lake, you should not to just slow down, but they want to change the castle area. So no more camping on this hill and shooting into the campers right here. So they added a little bit river to the bend, and they want to change this area. So everybody just camps right here and shoot into this area. And there's another version with more cover. So, I mean, it's a temporary change. We have to wait until the HD overhaul of all the maps before we get any more new maps. And I think that's stupid. why not just add more new maps without the high definition crap? We don't need that high definition. Quality of the stuff is superfluous. Not everybody could run it. Somebody can only run the game at, 30 frames per second on the lowest setting. So why add HD maps? I mean, super good looking does not mean a good game, right? You don't need to have a super good looking graphics to have a very good game. For example, Team Fortress, or Counter-Strike, or League of Legends. The list goes on and on. Or the initial Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2. Okay, so list goes on and on. There's a new skin for the E50M, looks pretty nice, from Milky Man. I also use his E50 skin at tier 9, but so German engineering at the finest. But hey, you need one because standard one does not look as good, in my honest opinion. But there's also a IS-3 skin from Professors, so it has the cage armor, a bunch of cages, as well as bigger sparrow wheels at the back. So looks a little bit better than the IS-3A, so you can tell the difference now already. But for the community question of this week, do you want the Waffen trigger off E100 back? Because it's one of those meme vehicles. It's one of those iconic vehicle of one super good strength versus a gigantic weakness, such as the crappy camo and the horsepower per ton ratio of 9. So do you want that vehicle back? I remember getting spotted across the map and have nowhere to hide because the vehicle is huge and it's a little bit slow. Actually, it's quite slow, so you'll be focused and you're dead. But it has the 6 rounds originally with 128 and the 4 rounds with 150. You could put the 150 with high explosive rounds. Basically, you're firing as a auto-loading KV2 with better accuracy and better aim time. And you troll with that, but hey, it was a meme. They got rid of it. Ugh. But for community question of this week, Sam, can you do a World of Tanks console version review? I don't have a console to play World of Tanks on. For example, the Xbox 360 or Xbox One or the PS4, don't have one, so cannot do it. But I have a iffy doubt about console version because I don't like normal tanks that got repainted and being sold as premium tanks. I hate that. I hate vehicles basically like the Tiger 131 or Tiger 217, but they're a little bit different. Or like how Armored Warfare do with their vehicles, taking a normal tank, putting a black paint over it or some of the stripes and call it a Wolf Leopard 2A5 or something and sell that thing. Don't like that, I really don't. Because you can get it off of the tech tree. Why would you want to buy one? It diminishes the value of you grinding towards the vehicle and having it in your garage. So I hate that, but I don't really want to touch World of Tanks console, so that's just personal preference. And plus, I don't have a console to touch it on, so okay. Do you know anything about the Chieftain coming out of the EU or RU or the NA servers? So the Asian servers have it. The console version have it. I wish, in my honest opinion, they would do something about like the FE25B, because that thing is not exactly historically correct. It does not exist because originally the only 183mm version, the tank destroyer version, exists. The heavy tank version never existed, so that's not real. But why not just add this vehicle like the WZ-111-5A next to the Conqueror, so you have 2 options to research. And plus, what about the second turret for the Carnarvon? There was a better turret with thicker armor for the Carnarvon. There was the Super Conqueror that got both revealed at Wargaming Fest last year, so like 8 months ago. What happened to those? No idea. So I have no idea about the Chieftain Mark 6. No clue, but you can get the Chieftain / T95 at tier 10, or the T95 / Chieftain at tier 8 from Clan Wars. So, wait, could you get the Chieftain / T95 at tier 10? I don't know, but I know you can get the other version, the Flipperoo version, at tier 8, but the vehicles you could get at tier 10 from Clan Wars are the M48 Patton, the Object 907, the VK7201K, what else? The 121B, and there's one more. I doubt it's the Chieftain / T95. It's not that one. Can't remember off the top of my head, but 3 vehicles, 3 mediums, 1 heavy. Or they covered the heavy. Oh, the T95 E6. That's the one. So it's not the Chieftain / T95. So that one's also missing, but you can get the reverse version at tier 8, which nobody plays. Yeah, it's been like a year and like 3 months since they released that vehicle from Clan Wars, but nobody plays it. I don't know why. I mean, it has the gigantic tumor, but Alright, so what are your thoughts on the Polish tech tree, including armored cars into the game? And should you think Wargaming implement armored cars for other nations? I would love armored cars, but basically they're useless against tanks. So they're mostly like tier 2 or tier 3? Nah, tier 2 or slightly tier 3, but unless you put like the tank destroyer half tracks that some of the nations have, like Americans or Germans, they put howitzers or 75mm on half tracks, or some of the armored cars, but mostly half tracks. And you could consider that as a tier 3 or tier 4, but I wouldn't go past tier 5. So those will be interesting. We saw the initial testing of wheeled cars with the Lanchester 4x2 from the Mark IV event last year, the 100 years of tanking, if you remember, but nothing came out of it. I thought they were going to implement dual turret system from the Mark IV and implement wheel cars. It's been 8 months. Actually, it's been a year since that happened during August or September. So it's 10 months to a year. No HD maps, no improvements or advanced upgrades, and so there you go, folks. Second flashpoint for this week. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.